Welcome to the BNI Vancouver Chapter Podcast. Today, we are here with the infamous Adam Ward with Camelot Payments. Adam, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me.
This is so, I don't know, it's like I love being able to do this and be able to have one-to-ones here. And they're getting better and better.
Well, I got to tell you, I can't express enough on behalf of our chapter of what you're doing with your personal time, your equipment, and everything else. You should be charging us each time you do this. It's such a great tool for our chapter, and I just want to thank you on behalf of our chapter for the time and energy you're spending on advocating for our chapter, creating these YouTube channels, and just trying to spread the love with us all building our businesses together. So really appreciate what you're doing for us.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it helps me be better at what I'm doing now anyway. So it's like I love, the only drawback is, having one-to-ones. You guys, everybody in the chapter comes here, but that's kind of a cool thing too. And then I also want to be able to take little snippets of each podcast, because right now I've just been creating the long form and then uploading it to our YouTube channel. But creating shorts that then individual, that you can be able to use.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm a big social media networker. So once you get this out there, I'm going to be pushing it on all my channels.
Sweet. So this is probably going to be the best way to do that. So why don't you just so you know, if you ever just want to really just talk directly to someone, that's your camera.
I see it right there. It's hard to look at the camera and talk to you at the same time. I'll figure this out. But maybe we got to move the camera close to your face.
Well, I think I'll just ask you some questions.
Yeah. And this is a true one-to-one, so I want to know more about your business, so I know how to best refer you to.
Sure.
So I'll make this all about Camelot or myself.
Yeah. I didn't even put my phone over here, so I don't even know what time. Oh, wait, we got the time on that might go off though, but the time on the the monitor.
Let's make the magic happen.
Okay. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your business now.
Sure. Adam Ward. I'm owner of Camelot Payments. We've been going since early 2021. Prior to that, I've been in the merchant services industry since 2011. I was with a big corporation from 2011 to 2020, where I was the senior vice president, oversaw a company of about 600 employees, offices in Sacramento, Dallas, Portland, Seattle, so on. And I left the corporate world, and when I decided to do Camelot Payments, I asked myself, what does that look like? And I really want it to be built off reputation, built off the, I was taken advantage of as a business owner from 2001 to 2011 in my industry, where I used to own a bunch of restaurants and bars in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And back then, I thought everyone paid the same processing fee and and everyone got stuck in these equipment leases and all this type of stuff. So I was taken advantage of. So when I decided to do Camelot Payments and the people that came onto the team and stuff like that, we really pride ourselves on picking up the phone, and we really pride ourselves on being educators in our field. And if we can educate someone what not to do, and even they go somewhere else, we're happy at. And what happens a lot of times, those business owners to come full circle, come back to us because they saw the deviance of some of the other people out there, or other associations out there. Like, and I'm a bad mouth a little bit, like Square, and
the big wigs.
Yeah, the big wigs, and they just don't have any personal touch. You can't even find a customer service number for Square, this and that. You're at their mercy of opening a ticket for customer care, and they, whenever they want to get back to you, and so. Those are things that we really pride ourselves on. We try to educate business owners never to sign a contract, because if they do, it's, anyone wants you to sign a contract, only benefits them, doesn't benefit you. And so, on our social media, on our advertising, we advertise the fact we never have contracts from month to month. We do that because when people sign up with us, they stay because of the customer care, because we don't have false promises. And we're really about taking care of the little guy. And that's, what we stand for.
That's really cool. I know that you've really helped. We've struggled with Mickey in the store and just a lot of different things with how it all works. So you guys can incorporate. You in your company can incorporate, like with Spotify accounts and things
Yeah,
like that?
so
Or
it's
not Spotify, but what's the
yeah. So she has a
e-commerce?
yeah, she has a Jot form. So integration. And
Yeah.
integration is really the new wave of what's going on in the merchant services industry, especially when it comes to websites. If it's built by WooCommerce or it just there's just so many different variations, and it's hard to know what you're integratable with until I go back to all my vendors and see what we can or can't do. And a lot of times, software companies now they're trying to be proprietary, and so they lock you in at their higher processing rates. And now, once you got that website built or that platform built for your CRM system, they lock you in at 3.5% to 5%, and then it's hard for someone like me to be a third party come in and try to replace that processing piece. But it can be done sometimes. And when it happens, you got to be tenacious a little bit of executing it and making sure it happens. With Mickey, she has such a lovely vision for the store and for the path. And so she created this idea of how to make it a kind of a non-maintenance free store. And we're just trying to do whatever we can to build that vision for her. We had some speed bumps, but Mickey was a pro and had some patience. And my team and I really tried to overcome the obstacles, and we did. And we found the solution. And it's not always easy, but if they're willing to take the journey with us, we always usually find the solution.
Yeah,
that's awesome. At the end of the day, it's all about trying not to change the way you take credit cards, but to lower your costs in the back end and provide that better customer service.
So, Adam, when did you move to the Pacific Northwest from Wisconsin?
Well, I actually, quick stories. I decided to move from one extreme of weather, Green Bay, Wisconsin, in 2010 to Phoenix, Arizona. And I always said you don't have to shovel heat. But at the time, there was the housing crisis going on, and I was just done being kind of chained to a cash register. And so after I sold my businesses in Green Bay, Wisconsin, I was going to I bought some foreclosed house, and a lot of people don't know, but actually I was raised by a German grandfather that taught me carpentry, electrical, plumbing, all that.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah, and so as a kid, I was always given all the grunt jobs, my grandpa and stuff like that. But what I didn't know at the time was getting this, invaluable education in the trades. And so I could, if I really had to, I could probably build a house from scratch. So I always love working on.
You hear that? You hear that, James?
No, James is the professional. I'm a hobbyist, if anything else these days. But at the time, I bought a foreclosed house, and I was working on it, and I was going to flip it because the situation was right with the housing crisis in Phoenix. And I enjoy that type of work. And, my wife and I, it's kind of our thing. We watch HGTV. We love watching the home remodeling shows and all that good stuff. It's kind of our thing. But long story short, I was in Phoenix, and I was getting bored because I didn't know anybody. I had some family in Tucson. And long story short, I decided to call a blind ad off Craigslist. And it happened to be the guy I worked for the next 10 years, Merchant Services.
Oh, cool.
And within 6 months of answering that ad, he asked me to sell that house I was working on and move to Texas and help him build the company out from there. So I didn't get to the Northwest till 2013 on November 6th. And I remember because I drove from Texas in my Honda Civic and up through Denver and over, and I came down the gorge, and I was driving the early morning on a Friday morning, and just the sun, the water, that whole route coming east to west into Portland, Vancouver there, I felt it was like the right decision to make. And, that's when my boss asked me to move to Portland to help build the business center in downtown Portland and all that stuff. So I've been here since technically, beginning of 2014 for sure.
Okay.
And officially moved over to the Vancouver side in 2019 after getting married and all that stuff. I was in Portland for about 6 years there. So.
Oh, you got married in 2019?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, she's going to kill me.
Oh, yeah, she's going to kill you.
February 25th, 2018.
18. Yeah. Okay, that was a good save.
We got the house in 2019.
That was a good save. Mickey, when I said, go ahead and introduce yourselves when she was on the last episode with James and me, she's like, oh, did you forget my name? I'm like, no, what are you talking like? One time I called her Michelle, and I never call her Michelle. And so she was like, why did you just call me Michelle? I'm like, I don't know. So Sorry, honey.
It's all good. If you ever call everybody one of your ex's name, now that's a different.
That's bad.
Well, it's happened to Danny and I, and we're with someone for 12 years. Sometimes those names come out, so we know where the love is.
I'm gonna be honest; it's happened to me too.
Yeah.
But it was during like an argument about her, and so it was like the name popped out when I wasn't calling her that.
By the way, we're both in very great, loving marriages.
That's correct. Yeah, I don't think we'll get in trouble for this. So 2018, married. You moved here in 2014, 2013?
Yeah, November 6th, officially.
And
I had my Honda Civic packed to the gills. And I took everything I could in the Honda Civic. And like I said, I was in the merchant service industry through a corporate company at the time. And then, 2019, moved to Vancouver, got the house with the wife. And then by 21, launched Camelot. So it's been smooth sailing. I won't say smooth sailing, but it's been good sailing.
Yeah.
Since.
Well, what's cool is that you learned from working in payment systems corporate.
Yeah.
You learned the mistakes and the gouging and the suffering that clients have.
Yes.
And so that helped create Camelot Payments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the most what are some of the most not most I'm trying to come up with the word. Sorry, Adam.
All right.
What?
Good thing you can edit this stuff.
That's right. Okay, let me see. Tell me about your clients. So, like small business up to larger corporations?
With Camelot Payments, we've had business owners actually start off small with going to the farmer's market, and all of a sudden they get a food truck, and all of a sudden they open a storefront, restaurant. So we don't mind working with anyone that might just be trying to take payments 2 weekends a month. We have programs for them with free equipment, no startup costs, but we have variations up to the big guys. I got clients that process, $500,000 a month, and so and people always ask, who's your number one vertical and this and that. We do kind of focus on automotive repair shops and tire shops and different things like that, just because they're usually business owners who are working in the business and don't have time to work on the business, and I love helping them out. But from having a healthcare company that uses us for processing on their website, from having a lot of trades and general contractors, electricians, plumbers, so on, we have just a variety, and they're not just here in the Northwest. We have business accounts in Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, so on. So we cover all 50 United States, but I focus personally on the Northwest here. I love being out of the office. I love meeting people in person and giving that personal touch.
Yeah. Well, you are a very personable person.
Okay. I hope that's a compliment.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. So you cover all states.
Yeah. We have a team in the office that will take calls and make calls and do Zoom calls and phone calls to help out. Reach out to those states too. But for myself and my office manager, Nicole, we like to focus here on the Northwest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have great customer service.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate what you do.
You bet.
Yeah.
So, Marty.
Oh.
I'm going to flip the script. I keep learning about you and your passion and everything you do here with the videography. But I remember last time I was sitting here and just learning that you actually do like commercials and different things to provide a video marketing for your clients. And so give me some more content of what type of client would be a great referral for you, and how would someone like me identify that person and do an introduction for you?
Well, I really specialize on, I called them video business cards, and that's what I've called them for like 5 years. And now I've shifted more towards.
I didn't even know that term before. So video business card. I'm gonna take that away now.
Yeah. So, and that's what, for 5 years and basically it's a brand story video. So it's really about you and your why. That's where my passion really started. When I started this 7 years ago, that's where my passion really kind of pulled me, is trying to help people tell their story and their why, because it's important to to tell your story, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you do. And I know you're passionate about what you do and helping people and helping your clients. So it's kind of the same for me. And it really started getting more into the storytelling aspect and just helping bring people's why out. So brand story, I mean, it has multiple names, an about video. But lately I've really been focusing on kind of putting together packages with a video business card or brand story video, and then testimonials, and then now being able to utilize the podcast studio as a place for if my client wants to be able to come in here and then just maybe they have questions that they want to be answered. So maybe they have a lot of people that ask certain questions, and they can come in here and be able to film short marketing videos that are subject to those questions that people will ask them. And then being able to utilize captions, and, I'm just constantly trying to evolve and change so that I can be able to create more video assets, we'll call them, for my clients.
Have you put out there yet, like, packages where someone can say, "Oh, I want to sign up for this package. I know that it gives me this much time, this much airtime, or whatever." And so, because I've talked to a few people on your behalf, and it always comes down to, well, what kind of pricing are we looking at, or this and that. And I always say, well, you get what you pay for. And if you want the best at a good price and great service and execution, I know the guy.
Yeah.
But I've seen other companies or people like yourself out there, and I have seen that they'll try to say, "Oh, you can sign up for this package," and and I had someone I talked to about say, "Hey, I know a guy that I'm not sure if he does weddings, but and I know we talked about that a long time ago, that you kind of got started possibly doing a wedding, I believe you told me."
Yeah.
So I just want to really know how best to have. I call it arrows in my quiver, so I don't want to take that arrow out and help you out. So I want to be more educated by you.
Well, kind of getting back to the whole brand story video thing, it's like those are the ideal videos that I like to make for the clients, but it's not always the video that they need.
Right.
So that's where having this podcast space and studio available for people to come in. Maybe they have an editor, maybe they know how to edit. There's a lot of people now that I guarantee you, starting in January, you're going to see a lot of people popping up podcast studios. So what I've done over the last several months is I have a consulting package.
Okay.
And I've done podcast studio build-outs for several clients. And I have affiliate links. And so that kind of helps me out with the different equipment, because I've spent a lot of money over the years on junk and on quality stuff. And I've kind of been able to...
You learn by failure, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I've done the same thing over time, so I understand.
And so being able to put together packages for consulting, but there's a lot of people that are popping up with podcast studios, and even our bookkeeper, our bookkeeping company, they're starting a podcast studio. I just saw James O'Neill; he's starting a podcast. So really, what I've done is with the podcast space, I do have packages. So for 90, I found the sweet spot kind of being 90 minutes. A lot of people want to rent it for the hour, or what does that cost? And I'm like, you don't want to come in here for an hour. And the reason is because I don't want to have everybody come in, get comfortable, sit down, and then hit a start, button. And a lot of times I found in 90 minutes, people can get 2 to 4 what I call long form content. So if you're in here for 90 minutes, we have one price for that. You want me to tell you the price?
It's up to you if you want to air it or not. I wasn't trying to draw that out.
$1 million. No, it's
Dr. Evil.
It's right now. It's $250 for 90 minutes.
I think it's very reasonable. Because you got the whole setup in here. You still got to pay for the overhead with power and lights and everything else. And in today's world, with the prices rising on everything.
Yeah.
From what I've seen out there in business world and everything else, that is a very fair price.
And
This
people,
is such a quality studio you built.
oh, thanks. And they can come in here for 90 minutes and rent it for $250, and then they get to leave with the raw footage.
Okay.
So you'll leave with audio files and video files. So right now there's 3 cameras set up. There's a 4th camera that I just started kind of incorporating with filming James and Mickey in here. So I still got to do a little tweaking, but basically a 4-camera setup, the audio files, the video files, and if you have your own editor or whatever, that's great. And then we go up from there. So I have a second tier that involves me creating a logo splash intro, and then and some lower thirds. You know what lower thirds are? A lot of people don't.
No, I don't know that term.
Like where your name pops up.
Oh, okay.
Like your name and your business.
That makes sense.
And then some type of outro. And then we can get into like music, and then we can get into, me doing all the editing for your long form content, and creating short form. So I can create, I'll give you an example. So Mickey and Barron, who is the founder of Kicking Cancer,
Right.
They came in to do, for 2 hours, they got 5 long-form episodes, like 20, 25 minutes each. And then they also got, it's my phone.
I was just hoping it wasn't my
right,
phone.
they also, I think they ended up leaving altogether with over 30 videos.
Oh, wow.
It was actually more than that, but that was beyond the package deal. But
And not to cut you off, I just got a newsletter on email, and it was really cute. It looked like your guys' Christmas card with Mickey and Barron and the Kicking Health and the Vibrant Health. And I was trying to read it this morning, and I had to get out the door to come see you. It was a cool little newsletter that Mickey put out there today.
Yeah. She's been helping kind of market the studio also. And then we have a retainer package.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the all the bells and whistles. And it's generally for 3 months is where I like to kind of be able to pull that time out, because that lets us kind of create a relationship to where I can create the content that's branded to you, that is not just like, cutting and pasting and send you out the door. I can really kind of help you utilize those videos to best suit you, whether it's building you a YouTube channel or building out and running a YouTube channel. So I have one client right now that I just basically do all the posting and everything for.
It's also almost reminds me of what you're saying right there, is as someone is doing SEO work for a company, trying to elevate their name in the search engine searches, right? And so, I like when you and I first got together, like, oh, we don't have a YouTube channel for our BNI chapter, and I'm like, I hope you know how to do one, because I don't know how to do one. Never tried it. I'm sure I could figure it out, but why take the time to learn the stupid tricks when you're the master at it? So
well, I mean, it's I built out my YouTube channel for Triple M Productions 5 years ago, and it was just a place for me to be able to post my clients' videos to help promote them and help with the algorithm, so to speak, on Google. But right now, what I'm doing now is starting to get more into being able to market my own company, which that's taken a backseat for so long. And now I actually have some brands that are reaching out to me with like plugins that I use, being able to have affiliate links for them, and being able to receive promotional things. And I haven't even done any kind of videos other than like an SSD drive, for people that like, I have clients that if they want to leave with the footage, right, they need to have something that I can put the footage on.
Right.
So I have promotional packages that those companies are providing me, which is pretty cool. So I'm finally starting to kind of get out in more of that realm. I don't know if it's an influencer, because I'm definitely not an influencer, but I'm just trying to basically, create other avenues to where it's like I can be able to benefit my clients by being able to do what I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say enough having you for Triple M Productions and Mickey for Kicking Cancer as part of the BNI chapter. You guys are that power team, power couple. And you guys really do, from both angles, elevate our chapter. So
Thank
I
you,
really
Adam.
appreciate you guys being part of this.
Well, it's great to be a part of. I was honored when you asked me if I could handle the marketing end, and it's like I'm still flailing around a little bit too. I know last week was like literally there was so much stuff going on. So sometimes it's hard to be
Consistent.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, then I feel I'm really hard on myself. So it's like if I feel like I missed something, I'm like, no, but I got sick and then I forgot to do something. But
life catches up to you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel the same way when I'm trying to work with Devin and Cassie in the PowerPoint or this and that. We want it to be so perfect and try to come up with new, fresh ideas each week and keep it fresh. And there's no doubt that we're all kind of our own worst enemy, being hard on ourselves. But
you guys are doing amazing, though.
Well, it's really Cassie and Devin have been tremendous. I'm just there to narrate what they do on the hard work on the back end. So I'm just so pleased how everything's come together this year and how everyone's the camaraderie, the teamwork. From all angles, the leadership team to the new members coming in, there's just a lot of over communication going on, and I think everyone's feeling the support. I hope, and that we're not trying to have anyone feel like they're on an island. And you made this financial investment. Now what, right?
Right.
And so we want everyone taking advantage of that investment. And there is the word work and network, but our goal is just make sure everybody has the tools. The education and everything else. And so that's what we push for, and so we got some exciting things coming up with some workshops and stuff that's going to be announced at the December 5th in-person meeting.
Oh, awesome.
And we're really excited. And of course, it includes Coach Paul Kuthi. And so, we want to keep bringing things to the table that you guys haven't seen yet and keep things fresh.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a great job.
Well, it's everybody, so it's good.
Yeah. So, Adam, tell me about what you like to do for fun. I know I've seen some items that allude to camping on social media.
Yeah. Danny and my wife and I and our dog Jaws, who is our land shark, Pitbull. We really enjoy doing visiting new national parks each year. I turned 50 in 2026. And so our goal is we just sold our camping trailer this last fall, and we're in the neighborhood of buying a camper van that's easier to maneuver on the road and for campsites. And so in 2026, my goal is to visit probably about 5 to 10 new baseball stadiums. And usually in May and June, these baseball stadiums will have dog night. And so our goal is to go to 5 to 10 games with our dog in person and making our way east to west through the United States. We have a map on our wall at home with all the baseball stadiums. We're big baseball lovers and big camping lovers. So we're going to marry the two in 2026, try to knock out some of those stadiums that we could put the pin in on the map. And so I'm excited for that. I'm not excited to turn 50, but that's the goal to do it.
It's not bad. It's not bad, Adam.
Well, I'm bald and you're not. You got all the hair, so you look younger than I do. But no, it's I'm just very fortunate in life right now with the marriage I have, the operation I have, the team I have around me, and I'm just this Turkey week and Thanksgiving, I feel very fortunate.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of the stuff that Mickey has battled with her ongoing journey for helping cancer patients and everything else. I just lost an aunt who was like, her and my uncle were like parents to me, and so it's just seeing what my uncle has gone through and that journey and everything else. Anytime that I see anything that Mickey's doing for kicking cancer, I want to support it, because cancer is just an ugly disease out there that terrorizes families, not just the victims, but the family members.
Yeah, it's tough.
And so, I always try to take thanks and appreciation of, I always try to concentrate on my health. That's why I'm here to fill up my water jugs today. Thanks, Vicky. Teaching me the water way for your body.
The way of water.
The way of water. Please edit that correctly. The way of water. Not Avatar. The way of water.
Right. But that'd be cool if I made a little avatar.
Absolutely.
An avatar from Avatar.
Yeah, I'd still get sued or anything.
Right.
But no, it's just So my health is a huge thing. I've been battling. I had a bad back this last year and a half, stuff like that. So my wife and I are really trying to concentrate on health going into the new year. I'm sure everyone turns the page January 1st. Oh, I'm going to work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But for us, it's really something that we're not just striving for. We're going to execute. And so we're not where we want to be yet, but it's definitely something that's important to us, especially seeing what's happening out there with people getting cancer and everything else. So.
Are you? Where are a lot of your family members at? Is it scattered all over, or
mainly Wisconsin?
Yeah,
the core family. So sister and mom and daughter and all that. So we try to go back to Wisconsin once a year. It's tough sometimes, but we try to have family members come see us. Thank goodness for things like Zoom and Facebook and keeping us in touch with family members from afar. So,
do you have a good connection for? I call it squeaky cheese.
Squeaky cheese. So
cheese curds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a beer battered cheese curd guy.
Oh,
and every time I go to
delicious.
Wisconsin, I try to have cheese curds every day I'm there, and then I regret it. 5 days later. But we usually come home with a lot of cheese. There's this great place just south of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, called the Mars Cheese Castle. It's in between Chicago and Milwaukee. And it looks like a castle off the side of the highway.
I think I've been there.
And if you go in there, you can try all the cheeses before you buy it. And they actually have a little bar and restaurant area. And you walk in there, they have a big cheese spread, and they let you take a big chunk of cheese and your rich crackers. And usually when you're there, you want to get yourself a brandy old-fashioned sweet. That's the Wisconsin thing to do. But yes, cheese is in my blood. I was really nervous when I had to pass some kidney stones back in 2018-19, and they were trying to diagnose them. And I just didn't want them to say it was caused by dairy.
Oh, yeah.
So I love my cheese so much. It was caused by salt, so I try on a no salt diet. But
they call them cheese stones.
Yes, yes. I actually I've surgically had one removed, and I've passed 3 other ones.
Wow.
It's hereditary in my family, and so ever since I've been taking certain vitamins like milk-thistle or sea buckhorn, I have had no kidney stones. And so there's vitamins out there that can help you combat kidney stones.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Norwegian. I'm a huge cheese fan. And there's a certain goat cheese. It's brown, and it was super hard to find. And growing up, we would get it in the Scandinavian bakery delicatessen in Ballard in Seattle. And now, and then you could start getting it at IKEA used to sell it. And I'm like, no way.
IKEA of all places.
Yeah. And now IKEA doesn't sell it, but now it's popping up in various, like even Safeway has it once in a while. But it's by a company in Norway called Ski Queen. And we call it peanut butter cheese because it's made from the whey that rises, right, when you make cheese. And it's goat cheese, but it has a sweetness, and it's brown, and it almost tastes like peanut butter.
Wow, I'm gonna have to take a look for that.
Yeah, I'll have to get you some, but it's delicious. But I've always been, a farmer goat cheese lover, and when my band toured through Wisconsin every once in a while, we would stop at that Mars Cheese
Castle.
We would stop there, and I would get like cheese curds that we'd put on the tour bus.
Yeah. I mean, they have so many variations there from jalapeno cheese curds to everything. And so we used to come home with 10 different bags and spread the love between the family. So
yeah. But fresh cheese curds when you eat them, they squeak in your mouth. That's why I call it squeaky cheese.
Squeaky cheese curds.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. It's out there. I'm glad we're having a conversation about cheese. Now you're making me hungry.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. So let's talk really quick about so you guys are looking for a camper van or that you want to do a build out. Are you getting into the build out world?
I wouldn't mind doing a camper van build out. My wife and I have done a lot of build outs in the last 4 or 5 years with the house projects and stuff like that. But, if we find the right van for the right price that's already kind of built out or customized, we're open to all situations. I think I'll be more concentrating on it after we get through the holidays and start looking then. But I don't think she prefers a build out, but I'm open ears. So.
I mean, like 2 years ago, during COVID is really when I started watching all these YouTube videos on van build outs. I still do once in a while, but they're in Portland, a really cool company that makes these pre-built
kits and stuff.
Yeah, but out of bamboo, and they're kind of rounded like airplane, luggage things, and it looks really amazing.
Yeah, and there's a show on Discovery Channel called Van Gogh, and it's a guy, I think he's out of California, and he does build-outs for customers and stuff, and he's just a funny guy and everything else, but it's called Van Gogh, I believe. If you get a chance to check it out, it's pretty
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. So, Adam, thank you so much for being here. I know it's our one-to-ones are usually an hour, and what I try to tend to do is make this a little bit shorter, but I want to be able to capture kind of you and what a great referral for you is with Camelot Payments. And I want to let you guys know that his customer service with Camelot Payments, Adam's customer service, is absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I've ever known somebody in merchant services that has gone way beyond the extra mile for his customers. So if you guys are in search of any kind of merchant service providing equipment, whatever that is, you need to talk to Adam. Maybe I just answered some of your stuff.
Well, and I appreciate it because I talk about all the time that we pride ourselves on picking up the phone. And, when I talk to Vince Girolami or Jason Nichols, we all talk about the same thing. They say, well, we don't pick up the phone, we're like Geico, I say, well, if I don't pick up the phone, I'm like Square, or be a Square. And, but no, it's just, I know how it was to be a business owner. And, all of a sudden a machine goes down on a Friday night because the waitress drops soda on it or something like that. We have solutions and backups. When we put somebody, install somebody, it's not just a terminal we're dropping off. We're dropping off other solutions in case of emergency in the beginning. So we pre-plan for the worst. And especially when it comes to storefronts or restaurants, stuff like that, that's in my blood because I used to own restaurants for 10 years. And so I always start to think of them and prepare them. And, even when we walk in our office, I always tell my office staff, expect the lights not to work one day or the phone's not to work. Here's how we're going to battle those stuff. So I like to be proactive and make sure everyone's prepared for stuff. But accidents happen and things happen. And they don't happen during the day on a business day a lot of times. They happen at night or on a weekend. So we give them phone numbers and solutions to call in their time of need. And like I said, we will be there in their time of need. We pride ourselves on that. That's truly what separates us from everybody else. While we're lowering their overhead, while we're trying to provide any equipment for free, so it's not coming out of their pocket. And there's no contract. It's truly a month-to-month agreement. If there's no early termination fee, so they try us out for 30 days and we don't deliver on everything we promised, they can leave us without penalty. And we do that because we know that we're going to do it right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for everything that you do.
Marty, this has been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam.